Hello students and welcome back to Hexxit Education. My name is Kankadia and this is lesson number 9. In this lesson we're talking about two tools, namely the Hoe and the Kama. Now in general both tools are not terribly useful, but I'm going to go over them because they are tools that exist in Hexxit and they deserve at least some attention. So we're going to come over here, and no we're not, we're going to go over here, sorry. And where we have our Hoe. There we go. Missed it. Totally missed it. So here we go. First and foremost, we have our hoes from Parkinsight, the biomass and living metal. In general, I would avoid these only because the main benefit of biomass or living metal is because they regenerate durability as you collect blood or souls, and you're not likely to be carrying around your hoe when you're doing a lot of battling. So I would recommend those. The meteorite hoe is not a bad choice. It really isn't. It's for what it does. It's pretty good. If you happen to find a strike and you have some spare meteorite, make one of these. Never have to make another one. Equal to diamond durability. So I recommend this if you plan on doing a lot of farming. The freezerite, I've heard mixed results about what it says. Automatically waters farmland when used, and apparently that could that could sort of speed up the saturation process, and it's not very useful. It really isn't. But for 2 freezerite crystals, it might be worth experimenting. I'm not saying get, I'm not saying don't get. Just it is what it is. Okay, moving on, we have the ironwood hoe and the steel leaf hoe. These are the only tools from Twilight Forest that do not come with their own enchantment, because you cannot enchant a hoe because it's just a stick that goes in the ground. I would not recommend using a steel leaf under any circumstances, because steel leaf is a relatively rare drop, and there are better uses for it than a hoe. Ironwood, on the other hand, if you got some spare, might as well use it. But my recommendation: just make a vanilla wooden hoe. It's just a couple planks and some sticks. Make 2, make 3. Almost guarantee you won't use them up. So that's my recommendation in terms of the hose. So next we come to a somewhat unusual weapon, or tool. Sorry, an unusual tool, but actually it can act as a weapon. This is a Kama, and this a Kama. And this is from Natura, and essentially it's what it says. It is the great leaf harvester, and this is primarily used like shears. I'm going to read my notes because it's kind of complicated. The damage from these is roughly equivalent to Natura swords, and they can parry. So if you don't want to carry around a sword, then you can carry around a Kama. You can also use it essentially as a non-iron shear, but with a couple of very important exceptions. It can mine dirt, it can break up grass, and most importantly leaves, which is very important in the nether, with ghostwood leaves, which you use to make arrows. And it can also cut through vines, including the ones that are nether. I think they're called cinder vines, the ones that hurt you when you go next to them. However, you can't shear sheep with it, so it's not as useful in the above ground. One other important thing is that it acts like shears, so it essentially silk touches leaves. So if, for example, you're going out into the forest, you happen to find say a sakura tree, and you really want to get some saplings by knocking down the leaves, do not use a Kama, because it will just give you the silk touch effect and give you the whole leaves instead of the saplings. So not the best thing in the world, but no, definitely it's an available weapon. And it's relatively cheap to make, just made out of wood from another, so it's up to you. So but it is one of the more unusual weapons in that it can be used both as a tool and a somewhat legitimate weapon at the same time. Okay, and that's been this episode for Hexxit Education. It's going fast and furious now. We're going to have, I think, a couple more. Then we're going to talk about some more unusual things. So I'll see you in a little bit. This has been Kankadia for Hexxit Education. Class dismissed.